Ladies and gentlemen, I've had a moment to ponder over this particular topic of conversation in my head for quite a few days now, and I've come to the conclusion, and it's just me, maybe you guys feel the same, that Filipinas are probably some of the best women, if not the best women, that Asia has to offer. Now, I know the blasphemy for the good doc to say such a thing and all the backlash and the hatred and all that shit that's probably gonna come, or the love that's gonna hit my comment section is probably gonna be brutal. But at the same time, I want you to hear me out before you judge. Now, first things first, I'm gonna get this out the way so that y'all shut the fuck up, because I know what you're thinking before you even say it. Oh man, Filipino women ain't all that cute, man, and da 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 da. Okay, right? If you're gonna sit there and try to compare just the beauty aesthetic alone, you may say Japanese women, Korean women, or women in other parts of Asia are probably cuter than them overall. And yes, I will say this because everybody knows this and it ain't no damn secret. The beauty standards that you see in the Philippines right now is typically a beauty standard that is somewhat copy-paste, cookie-cutter from that of Korea, right? A lot of the Korean products are flooded into the Philippine market, so the whitening creams and all of that good jazz, they're copying Korean women. Let's call it for what it is. It's just the truth, right? It's okay. I got it. I understand. But let's take away the pure aesthetics, right? The materialistic aspect, the beauty aspect of it all. And let's focus on some of those key intricate details that I personally feel put Filipino women just at the top of the market in Asia, all right? Number one, I don't necessarily have to struggle to have a conversation with a Filipina because the majority of them know how to speak English, right? That cannot be said, or that cannot be this, or the same, cannot be said about women in other countries, right? Now, some people may say, well, Doc, go to the other country, bro. You better learn the language, a little bit of the language, and it'll help you out. Shit, and I agree, 100%. But at the same time, for your lazy foreigners that don't necessarily want to take the time to go all out like that, you can't tell me that a Filipino wouldn't be suited and booted for guys like that, right? Because a lot of us don't want to try to speak a new language. It is what it is. If you do learn it, that is completely awesome. But at the same time, having somebody that, can speak English with you, have a conversation with you or whatever is tenfold better than sitting next to a young lady that is absolutely gorgeous and nothing in common, trying to find something in common, but the broken English and all that stuff that, the interaction between you guys, it's tough and it's rough. Now, I know there's going to be some slick dude in the comment section talk about, Doc, I don't need these women to talk. I just need them to perform sexual acts for me. Congratulations. You made it. Anyways, back to the topic at hand, right? It's good to be able to converse with somebody, get to know somebody. If you're looking for a relationship, of course. If you're not looking for a relationship, or looking to, be around somebody or be with somebody, then of course, whether they speak English or not, it really doesn't matter. And I got it. But at the same time, I don't know about y'all, but I know about me. And, I like to be able to fucking talk to you about something, Tell me about your culture. If, I kind of know the Philippines, but if I didn't know the Philippines or anything, like, tell me what's good. Tell me what I can get into. Like, you want to take me this place so we can get into it together, some shit? The conversation can go a little bit further than, when you first touch down in the country and you're just kind of figuring it out. And, if you didn't do your Duolingo or your language, your Babbel or whatever the fuck to kind of figure out, the basics of the language, it does make it easier when you go to a country like the Philippines and you can sit there and have a conversation with a Filipino. You can ask questions to them, get to know them if you choose to. So at the top of the list, the fact that I could talk to the young lady that I'm with or around, I kind of feel like that puts them at the top. Now, a lot of people sit there and say, yo, Doc, man, you dealing with these Filipinas, bro. They're all scammers and they're all trying to take advantage of you and all this shit. And to an extent, let's call it for what it is. There are quite a few young ladies in the country that are looking for a come up. Oh, but let me say this, though. unless that particular young lady is tainted by the Western ways. And I want y'all to hear me when I say this or ask this, however I'm going to preface it. I'm trying to get it together so that you figure out what it is that I'm trying to say. If they are tainted by the Western ways and are like, oh, I need a new cell phone, I know the iPhone's out and all that shit, yeah, those types of girls, we know to leave them by the wayside, right? But in the overall general sense, is a Filipina, I want you to think about this, is a Filipina really gonna ask you for something that you cannot afford? Think about it. Yes, the tainted ones, oh, the new iPhone, this, buy my mama, sorry, store this shit, I need a new house. The crazy ones, we know what to do with them. Leave them by the wayside. But in the overall general sense, is a Filipina really gonna ask you or try to finesse you out of something that you really cannot afford? Right? Most of them just want a good meal, maybe some nice chinelas, some zapatos, some shoes or some shit, you know what I'm saying? A nice little dress or something. Most of them are really not gonna ask you for anything that is completely out of bounds. And if they do, then you already know who you're dealing with. And what do we do with the ones that we already know what we're dealing with? Put them by the wayside, right? So in reality, is a Filipino really gonna ask you for something that you cannot afford? In the general sense. So yeah, they can scam you or try to come up on you, but what are they going to really try to come up on you for? Or, what are they going to come up on you with? Oh yeah, my foreigner spent $100 on me because he went this, that, and we went this place and they bought me some shit. So you take the L for $100. Can you really not afford $100? Not saying that you should go out there and just spend it like that and take the L, but at the same time, is it killing your pockets that bad? Because if that's really the case, dude, it's hard for me to say this, but the Philippines might not be a place for you, right? Now, yes, drinks and food and all that stuff, if you just happen to spend that type of money and, the daily interaction with whatever you're doing or, whatever you're doing with your young lady that day, that's just what you charge to the game. But at the same time, if you can afford what they asking for, then what's the problem? Scam come up or not, are you hurting? Because for me, I look at it like sometimes you just gotta charge it. Sometimes you're gonna find a young lady that just might, try to run a little game on you. And I think the first time it happens to you, you never really let it happen again. But at the same time, if it's the cost of doing business, and let's call it for what it is, are you really hurting if she, get a little bit out of you, just a little bit? Yeah, you might be butthurt about it. And like I said, I'm human. If somebody got me or finessed me, I'd be a little mad about it. But at the same time, did it kill me? Did it really hurt me like that? Probably not. Right? So you can call it for what it is, and you can call them scammers, this, that, and the other, and you may not necessarily have these experiences with, ladies in Korea or ladies in Japan more specifically. I'll never say Thailand, because I do believe these same things that are happening in the Philippines are likely happening to guys dealing with, women in Thailand as well. But if it ain't hurting you like that, is it really worth complaining about? If you think about all you have to gain by dealing with a Filipina, is it really, really that bad? Or are they really asking you for something that you generally cannot attain or afford? And if so, A, you either get your money up, or B, get rid of her, put her by the wayside. There's literally two options, right? So going back to the topic at hand, and what I'm trying to get to, or what I'm trying to get at, is I put Filipinas kind of at the top of women in Asia, bruh. And yes, you can sit there and call me, all kinds of names and think I'm talking out the side of my neck. But at the same time, if I can converse with my young lady, speak a little English with her, have a little fun with her, and know that what they're asking for isn't something that's completely outlandish and that I couldn't afford, or, it ain't really costing me much to, if you are that type of guy, upkeep a Filipina. Because trust me, I do believe that the upkeep and maintenance, I've seen this since I've been in Korea, the maintenance and the upkeep for a Korean young lady is definitely different, right? Because the products, albeit the same, if, You want to transcend the products that they have in the the products they have here to the Philippines. If you're buying Korean products, that's your fault. But the Korean products here, not cheap, right? The good shit, not cheap. All right, but even the top-notch echelon Philippine brands are not too costly. You feel me? So when we talk about general maintenance and upkeep, again, Filipinas are probably way up there because technically, in the general sense, again, depending on the young lady you're dealing with, the upkeep and the maintenance is really not that much. At all. Fucking not at all. Alright? But again, it comes with figuring out what you really want and what you're really looking for. But for me, if my young lady can speak a little English with me, it makes the transition easier coming from, a foreign a country where all they do is speak, English and shit like that, or Spanish, depending on where you're from. Going to the Philippines and stuff, and they still speak in English, like I said, it just makes the transition easy for a lot of foreigners. Number one. Number two, the general maintenance and upkeep for Filipinas is relatively low, in my personal opinion. Again, speaking from the general sense, right? And then the last reason why I would kind of put Filipinas at that top-notch women in Asia, like I said, it's not really about the beauty and the aesthetics and all that shit, because again, that is, in my personal opinion, is it objective or subjective? Fuck, it's too late. And Doc don't have time to be philosophical, but you get it, right? That's purely up to you. It's based on opinion, right? Because some guys may believe Filipinas is top-notch in the beauty area as well, right? You can quote or source or cite your resource as all the times they've won Miss Universe, right? That can always be a source for you. They've done it quite a few times within the last couple of years, at least, I think twice in the last few years, and at least like top 5 finishes. A lot of them within the last 10 years or so. They've had some pretty high finishes and stuff. But outside of beauty, being able to communicate with them, I believe that Filipinas are definitely top notch because, god damn, they're so much fun. I don't care what nobody said. And if you know, you know. If you know, you know. God dang, I don't need to go into details about it. They just fun. Don't make me say it. Don't make me dig into the demons that Marcus has scarred me with for the greater majority of my life, okay? Do not make me go back to that way. But in reality, during the Marcus era, no doubt in my mind, Filipinas are just fun. The greater majority of them are just fun to fucking be with, fun to be around, right? Genuine people pleasers. What the fuck you want me to say? And I honestly, personally, I don't believe that that's going to be the same in the general sense everywhere else that you go, right? That genuine funness, people-pleasing type energy that you get for the greater majority of Filipinas, I just don't see that with the greater majority of women in Korea, or potentially just saying that, the greater majority of women in Japan, right? That openness to foreigners and shit. I don't think you're going to get that, okay? So, again, the English, the fact that you can communicate, the fact that the general maintenance and upkeep is relatively low, in my personal opinion. But if it's a little too high for you, what are you going to do? Get your money up, get rid of them. And number 3, just how fun they are to be with. Dude, I don't want to go into details because you should know what I mean. We're human beings, ladies and gentlemen, and the fun ones, them, right? And that's my time, effort, and energy, man. Good thought about to take this nap, but I appreciate y'all locking in. And if this video hits you different, if you feel the same, Doc, I co-signed this video. I would be glad to drop a heart on that one. But if you're like, Doc, you tripping? Japanese women, Korean women, women from India, women from Thailand are way better than Filipinas, if that's your personal opinion. Comment section below and let me know. Let's have a healthy dialogue about it, all right? As foreign men, what do you choose? Let me know, man. It's been a good dot, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out.